Watch me sluice right in
to a Yu-Gi-Oh episode. Am I right, gang?
I guess.
Yeah. My body is a machine that turns life into pain.
And my body's a machine that turns not knowing anything about Yu-Gi-Oh into
money.
I'm expecting a lot of contention in this video from you guys, from comments, from anyone.
Oh.
Because I'm covering localization.
Oh,
but
no.
like,
It's
kind of loose. It's kind of loose. Localization is just like the word that I use for the whole quiz. Originally, it was going to be censorship in the anime, like from 4Kids, but I couldn't find, information on the differences between the dub and the sub for Yu-Gi-Oh episodes. A lot less available and concrete than I would like it to be. There are so many people who just like lie on the internet, which is crazy.
What? No one's ever lied on the internet.
No, everything I read on the World Wide Web is true.
Yeah.
I have shingles.
There's a very high chance that something in this video might be wrong. Feel free to correct in the comments. I encourage it.
Do it rudely and passionately and confidently. Call Mitch a fucking cuck and let him know that he did not do enough research for this.
In question number 1, I'm going to be discussing the very, very old, I think it was like 2001 release, trap card Destiny Board. Destiny Board is a card that allows you to play 5 cards sequentially, each one with a letter on it. Once the last card is played, you just win the duel. That's the effect of the card. In the anime, it looks like this.
Good card. That's a Ouija board.
Oh, that's a Ouija board.
That's a lot of eyes and a mouth in
I
the
don't
background.
like those chompers back there. That makes me a little uncomfortable, if I'm being
Reminds
honest.
me a little of Sukuna. Just
Also, is that the same castle from The Little Mermaid, from Disney's The Little Mermaid? Because it looks exactly the same.
How'd you figure it out?
Yeah.
He plays a Little Mermaid themed deck, except also there's a Ouija board that kills you.
That all ties together, I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. In the original game and show, these cards spelled out the word death. But that's not what they spell out in the localization. So what do they say in the English dub? Do the cards spell out final, death, destiny, or cease?
You know, I'm going to have to go with final, considering the names of the cards are INAL.
Fuck.
You like that one, comments? I read the fucking cards this time to get the answer.
Every time I try to do something substandard, it goes up in flames.
I'm gonna guess Destiny.
I'm gonna guess cease.
I can read the cards too. I'm guessing death.
I straight up did not even notice that they still had for some reason, the localized titles on the cards that spell out death in that image.
I was confused
really
when you
funny.
showed us the picture, and then I figured out where the question was going, and I went, oh, I'm getting a point.
Oh yeah, here's the proof.
Yeah, there it is.
I really wish that
so much worse.
the localized cards would have had on them like spirit letter and then they corresponded to death instead of final.
Yeah.
Like they were the inverse of each other. So it's like card H and it's L.
Oh my God.
I also think that they didn't really think this through, because with death, really the only thing you can spell is death or the da, which is nothing. But with final, if you have a second A card, you can spell anal, and that's probably more offensive to parents than death.
If you have a second E card in death, you could spell heated.
Cool. Is that more upsetting than anal?
In the comments below,
I'd like to think
tell
so.
us which is more upsetting, heated or anal.
I lost this round, so everyone gets a point. Tyler called out my folly, so he gets a second point.
Fuck yeah.
Question number 2. This is already terrible. As everyone knows, the way that the dubbing process works at 4Kids, most, if not all, lines are like changed in some way, often completely different from the original. sometimes they remove lines entirely or scenes entirely. And in this case, one of these characters did end up getting hit the hardest by these changes. Which of the following characters had all of their speaking lines completely removed from the English dub of Yu-Gi-Oh's original run?
What?
The characters are Yugi's mother, Bonds, Strings, and Dark Magician Girl. And here are the images for you.
What? I did not know Yugi had a mom, and why is his mom just Kaiba?
Oh. Don't say that one.
I want to pick Yugi's mother.
Okay.
I haven't watched it, but if Tyler said he didn't know that he had a mother, maybe it's because she literally didn't speak in the version Tyler watched.
Maybe. I mean, I also watched this show like 20 years ago, so
No,
I also
if there
probably
was
just
ever a rock
forgot about the character.
if there was ever a rock that I need to rely on for memory, it's you, Tyler. Thus, I'm picking Yugi's mother.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
wrong rock.
Boy, I vaguely sort of kind of remember the little kid that he looks like balding skeleton Vegeta, I guess.
Yeah.
Like malnourished.
He needs
Just
a widow's peak.
Erased the widow's peak. It's like Caillou with Super Saiyan hair coming out the back. Like,
This is what would have happened if he kept the Majin mark.
yeah, I don't know.
The Majin Mark erased his widow's peak.
Yeah.
It looks to me like they probably censored the appearance of the dude with all the piercings, because I feel like he was probably just naked with the chain action and the belts, and then they added a black suit on underneath it to make it better, is my guess. I'm sure that's not accurate, but that's my guess. So I'm going to say that they removed his dialogue because he probably just talked, like it was all probably like BDSM, like subtext and references, and they just were like, there's no way we can't make that fun and cute for the kids. We gotta just take all that out.
So I don't remember any monsters talking for the most part in the series in the first place, but the fact that Dark Magician Girl was thrown in there anyways just is I'm gonna take that red herring and I'm gonna choose Dark Magician Girl.
That's honestly smart reasoning.
And Kyle, what was your answer again?
Mom.
In the original run of the show, as far as I could tell, Yugi's mother had maybe 2 lines. And this question was originally going to be, which character was completely removed from the show entirely?
Oh.
But I learned most of the way through making this quiz, Yugi's mother in the dub does make a single appearance in like the background of a shot, I believe.
Oh.
But she has no speaking lines anymore, so Kyle does get this point.
I guess that is why I didn't remember her existence, because she was just relegated to one single frame in the background.
I guess I called my shot, I guess. Wow, I didn't think I was going to get it.
Yeah, I don't know why they just felt the need to completely shun Yugi's only parental figure that isn't his grandfather. But
Yeah.
The penis.
she's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
sure.
made them all go wop, 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 wop. So
Maybe
it's
they were
fine.
Even
just
the
like,
normal hair
everyone-
in this show is insane.
What?
Like that, even the normal hair in this show is insane. Like that's just supposed to be like a bob.
Is
Yeah.
it?
And it's
Are you sure?
Mostly,
I think
that's like a
that-
Yu-Gi-Oh Bob.
Yeah, I think that they
the closest
just
we're gonna get.
forgot to design the mom, so they literally just took Kaiba and erased his face and then drew on a girl face and called it a day.
For round 3, we're actually probably going to be spending a sizable portion of time on this one just because of how many things I have to explain. Y'all know the Shadow Realm, right?
Uh-huh.
That's
No.
the most well-known thing about Yu-Gi-Oh in the West. Was a completely fabricated concept by 4Kids. Was not anywhere in the original show.
I am aware of that, actually, yeah.
Yeah. They created it as just like a catch-all basket to censor like deadly scenarios and magic that could ruin people's lives. Even if the threats didn't ever actually pan out, like maybe they just like threatened to do something, but nothing actually happened, they would still censor it with the Shadow Realm. Out of these 4 options, which was not censored by the Shadow Realm? Your options are falling through a glass roof on a skyscraper, buzzsaw to the ankles, tied to an anchor and drowned, and eaten by bugs.
Oh.
One of these was not censored with the Shadow Realm.
So these are
is this
all
a threat
real things, and we're guessing
These
which
all
one
happen in the show.
We're guessing which one wasn't censored.
Like,
Yes.
they actively happen and they're not just talked about. Like, we see this happen.
They are threatened or they happen.
The most plausible is eaten by bugs, because that definitely sounds like something that Bug Boy would have said.
That is fair.
Okay.
I can't remember his name for the life of me.
Weevil.
Yeah.
It's one of the only characters I remember his name.
Yeah. And Weevil,
It's just the name of a bug.
Yeah, and Weevils fucking rule, dude.
Yeah.
But something is really calling to me about tied to an anchor and drowned.
Something is pulling me to that one too. That's also the one that I'm going to pick. Something I don't know if that's real, but something about that is really pulling me toward it.
It feels right. It feels right. Do you feel the pull?
No, something really feels good about a buzzsaw to the ankles. So I think I'm going to go with that.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that episode.
Yeah, that was great.
Where it was just Kaiba's little brother, and there's a buzzsaw going, he's like right through his Achilles tendon.
Pokemon, no! Kaiba's like, what am I going to do? And then it's just like, you just hear, all your life, Kaiba. I want to play a game.
Tell me why I remember Mokuba, but not Weevil.
Tell me how I forgot Mokuba, but remember Weevil.
Mokuba.
Tell me how I didn't watch it. What's the answer?
But before we get the answer, we need to go to our sponsor. Yay! Man, having your soul sent to the Shadow Realm sure seems like a big dang inconvenience. But you know what's worse? When your identity gets stolen. And do you know why your identity is at risk of being stolen? It's because your information is out there on the gosh dang dark web being sold off to tons of shady people. But unlike the Shadow Realm, where there is no hope of return, there is hope for you and your personal information that's out there on the dark web. Aura is here to save the day, and they're sponsoring this video. Aura keeps you safe online by doing all the hard work for you. They will identify data brokers who are selling your information and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Give Aura a few weeks and you'll stop seeing information on these sites when you search yourself, which will lead to less spam. Aura will also continuously monitor the dark web and alert you if they find your personal information has been exposed. They're going to let you know fast if anybody tries to use this information to access your credit or bank accounts. Plus, they give up to $5 million in identity theft insurance should the worst case scenario happen. You can go to our link, aura.com/sandwiches for 14 free days of Aura services. That'll be enough time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data has been exposed. Once again, that is aura.com/sandwiches for a 2-week free trial. Thanks again to Aura for sponsoring this video. Now back to the Yu-Gi-Oh quiz.
2 people get points this round because the one thing that happened on this list in this show that was not censored by the Shadow Realm was being tied to an anchor and cast into the ocean.
Awesome.
Amazing. Do we have like visual representation of this?
Sure do. I'll give it to you one by one.
Okay.
What?
The glass roof on a skyscraper was like a 2-on-2 duel.
Oh, okay. I remember that actually.
That seems vaguely familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. So what ended up happening in that one in the dub, in the sub, the whole threat was you will plummet to your death and die.
Right.
In the dub, instead of plummeting to your death and dying, there was a portal that will send your soul to the Shadow Realm beneath the glass.
Tracks.
In both, hilariously enough, one of the guys they're dueling falls, and he pulls a ripcord in his cloak that sends out a parachute. However, horrifyingly, while he is perfectly fine in the original show by getting caught on a flagpole, in the dub, they change it so that his eyes are closed, and it's implied that the portal took his soul, but his body is fine at least.
Who's making these decisions at 4 kids? Honestly, how's that better?
So much worse, actually.
What the hell?
The funniest example, or at least the most the most known one, the most infamous one, is the buzzsaw to the ankles.
Yeah, I bet it is.
In this duel, Yugi and his opponent are strapped to a low wall by the ankles. And there are buzzsaws that will move closer depending on how many life points they have remaining. In the original, the threat is just real buzzsaws. In the dub, the threat is, and I quote, dark energy discs that will banish your mind to the shadow realm the moment they touch you.
Incredible. Via your ankles.
Via your ankles.
That is just a straight up buzzsaw.
Holy shit.
Wow.
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 That's fucking incredible.
The most egregious one is being eaten by bugs. And actually, I think if anyone actually picked that one, I think I would owe them another technicality point, because this wasn't censored by the Shadow Realm. They just added the Shadow Realm to it.
Oh.
In the manga, her soul was eaten by flesh-eating bugs.
Just her soul, not her body?
A like physical manifestation in her mind of her soul.
Can I make sure I understand this correctly? You just said
What?
that in the manga,
Yes.
her soul is eaten by flesh-eating bugs.
You should not question this too much.
I'm
That was
tracking this,
correct.
guys.
Like that was correct. The flesh-eating bugs ate her soul and not her flesh.
Yeah, her soul flesh,
Yeah, her soul
obviously.
had soul
the
flesh,
flesh
yeah.
of the
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah.
So
What else
okay.
are mind flesh eating ants going to feast on?
Not mind flesh, but soul
but the flesh
flesh.
of the
The
soul.
mind is a completely different thing.
No, but they existed in her mind.
Oh, you're right. So it's the soul
Yeah, they're
of her
mind
It's the
ants.
flesh of her soul of her mind.
Yeah, they're flesh eating mind ants that ate the flesh of her soul
Right,
in her
okay.
mind.
No, this makes sense.
You should.
I've played through Kingdom Hearts. I can follow this plot line.
Come on, Kyle.
shouldn't-
Come
yeah,
on. Lock
it all
in.
connects.
Lock in.
You shouldn't question ancient Egyptian metaphysical magic too much.
What was it changed to?
In the anime, what happens is similar to the manga, she gets her mind gets trapped inside an hourglass. But instead of bugs, it's sand, just like an hourglass has.
I remember that.
Okay.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes more sense,
yeah, that's
but I don't-
worse.
I feel like that's worse because that's like grounded in some form of reality. Like drowning in sand is a thing you can do.
That's
if
yeah,
you're
I'm
near
that's
not
a
sand.
done
real-
yet.
Oh,
I'm not done yet.
oh,
What? Is the sand bugs?
No, the sand about bugs. She's.
But I like
Let me
where your
just-
head is at.
is the sand her soul?
4 kids like, take this down, write this down.
Allow me to just read what I wrote down here instead of flotsoming. She is banished to the Shadow Realm, where she is trapped inside an hourglass that is filling with sand, and she is slowly buried alive while being forced to watch her friends having fun without her. Then, one by one, all of them leave her behind, each treating her worse than the last before she forgets them entirely and is left only with the pain as the light dims from her eyes. Either way, she gets saved before fully perishing, but is definitely scarred for the rest of her life.
Dear God.
Yeah, that's
And
that's a lot more kid friendly than the bugs of the mind, of the soul, of the flesh, of the heart, of the
Yeah.
body and spirit.
Sorry, kids. No physical violence here. Just wild emotional trauma you will carry with you for decades.
I mean, to be fair,
Yeah.
it was the 90s. People didn't care about mental health back then.
you're right. Therapists didn't exist yet.
it doesn't matter that she came back in a later arc as a villain because of her trauma.
Was she not always a villain? I thought Mai was always a bad
She
guy.
was never
She was-
nice. But
She was a minor antagonist, but she
Yeah.
joined. She didn't join the crew, but she was hesitantly a friend for a bit.
Okay.
she was never nice. She was just also never a villain.
Yeah. As far as the uncensored scenario goes, it is lightly censored in the fact that they removed the explosives involved in the scenario.
Wait, okay. Were
I'm
the
sorry.
explosives-
I'm sorry.
Were the explosives
Bugs, sand,
involved?
and explosives.
That's what I want to
Different-
know.
no,
Were
this
the
is the
explosives involved in the bugs, or were the explosives involved in the sand, or both?
No, we're talking about the uncensored scenario.
So bugs.
So no, we're talking.
Wait.
I'm floundering so hard. We're talking about anchors and falling into the ocean.
we've
now.
moved on.
Okay.
Yeah, we've moved. My apologies for
I-
not making that clear.
I was
I
so
see.
worried
Yeah.
that it was
I
like
mean-
she's drowning in sand slowly in an hourglass. Her friends are abandoning her, saying mean things. Her soul is draining from her eyes. There are explosives. TNT strapped to the glass.
It like zooms in on like the individual grains of sand, and they're all little sticks of death.
On the pier, strapped to an anchor by the ankles again. It's always the ankles.
Oh my god.
At risk of explaining the entire thing that's going on, I will truncate it. Yugi and Joey are forced to duel each other on a pier while tied to a giant anchor, and only the winner will get the key to save themselves. If anyone interferes with the duel, their friend Taya gets crushed by a shipping crate.
Jesus Christ.
If they take
Jesus,
take too long, the anchor drops with both of them anyway.
Amazing.
Incredible.
This entire scenario was elaborate enough that all they could do to censor it was remove the explosives that were also involved.
Amazing.
And the explosives are just what's supposed to go off that like makes the anchor fall.
I feel like they could have censored this pretty easily. In the same way they
Yeah.
did with the buzzsaw, they could have just been like, and this large energy cube will fall down on Taya, sending her to the Shadow Realm. Also, the
and
water is a portal to the Shadow Realm, and these
Yeah.
chains are spirit chains that are connected to the Shadow. You can just make everything the
Yeah.
Shadow Realm. I
Yeah.
feel like it was
I
it is
legitimately-
preventable.
Yeah, I really feel like they could have just been like, this chain is connected not to your body, but to your soul. And once the anchor falls,
Yeah.
it shall pull your soul into the shadow realm. Like
this
it's right
scenario was definitely. I mean, again, I know you summed it up for us, so you didn't have to explain the whole thing. So it could be more complex, but face value,
Right now.
it seems like it would be so much simpler to change this one.
Yeah.
There are a lot of moving parts in this.
Yeah, an anchor, fucking
Yeah.
Chains.
Crate.
chain, a crate.
There's also at the start of the duel, Joey is possessed, but then he breaks free, and they still
Well,
have to
that's just-
continue the duel because they're trapped.
Yeah, that's just standard Yu-Gi-Oh fare. At least
Yeah.
one character is
dude.
always possessed at any given time.
Fucking Joey's possessed, right? And they get him out of the possession. And he's like, oh, thank God that's over. And he's just like, lock in! You're trapped to a chain, and there's an anchor, and then she's gonna get crushed. And he's like, I want to be possessed again. I don't want to be
just like,
here.
Whoa,
It's
where am
worse."
I? And the Pharaoh just lock in.
We might have been laughing a lot, but that was a particularly heavy subject somewhere in there. So let's lighten up a little, kids. In Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Aster Phoenix, a professional duelist, appears on television to challenge the main character Jaden Yugi to a duel. In the original show, he challenges him like a normal person, but in the dub, he says, and I quote, "I'm the best, I can't be beat. And to prove it, I'm challenging this schoolboy. I won't tell you his name, but it rhymes with..." What does he say that Jaden's name rhymes with?
No.
What the fuck?
No.
No.
Hold on.
Don't.
No.
Is it?
No.
Is it
Nope.
Stain and Dookie, Schmade and Shmookie, Fail and Fluky, or Bray and Donkey?
This feels like I'm doing a fucking Jax Films Kids Bop quiz at this point. What the fuck is this shit?
Stain and Dookie.
I feel like I want it to be Stain and Dookie. I feel like there's no way that's actually what it
There's
could
a
be.
strong pull to Stain and Dookie. It can't be Stain and Dookie.
I feel like it's gotta be one of the middle two.
Okay.
I'll make your choice easier. I'm choosing Fail and Fluky.
All right, I'll go Schmade and Schmookie.
Perfect.
If
I'll
it's
pick
brain donkey, I'm gonna fucking off myself. What the hell?
I'm picking brain donkey off yourself, but only to the shadow realm.
Yeah, I'm just offing myself to the shadow realm, never to return.
He says, I'm the best, I can't be beat. And to prove it, I'm challenging you, this schoolboy. I won't tell you his name, but it rhymes with Schmaden Shmookie. You hear that, Schmaden?
I am upset that I got a point for this. Honestly, actually, I take it back. I wish it was Braying Donkey over Schmaden Shmookie. Now that I have like the full context of it, I really hate it.
I just really like that he also doubles down at the end. It's just like, you hear me, Shmookie?
You hear me, Shmookie? Yeah, that's one of the most infamous clips from the dub. The GX dub as a whole is completely bonkers. It is batshit.
I kind of wish he didn't double down and he fucked up and he just called him Jaden.
Yeah, dude, he's like, you hear me, Jaden? Damn it!
Yeah, it rhymes with Schmaden Shmookie. You hear that, Jaden? You cut the camera.
That's a new move. Round 5 does not need nearly any kind of introduction. It's a very simple question. Which of the following is not the name of a character in Yu-Gi-Oh? Is it Tyler Getz, Nico Smiley, Kyle Jables, or Braxton Britches?
Fuck off.
No.
Oh, no.
So that means 3 of them are.
Yeah, 3 of these are characters.
I'm going for Tyler Getz. That's
I'm
what
going for Nico Smiley.
I'll go for Kyle Jables. Well, I'll just pick each other's names. Easy peasy.
Clearly,
Nico
Braxton is
picked
real.
his own.
Obviously.
That's correct.
Why do you think he's our
Braxton-
CEO?
Nobody else was gonna choose it.
I just looked at Tyler. I was like, yep, we'll all pick each other's. And right after Nico picked his own.
Listen, I know what the vibe of the room is.
He's choosing the name of his soul, of his mind, of his flesh, not his physical name.
Oh.
Okay.
Saved it. Get fucked.
I'm like an ant.
Get wrecked, nerds.
Yeah.
Do you
Tyler
hear me,
Getz.
Shmookie? Sorry.
Tyler Getz
A
is a
point.
drummer from Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s.
Oh.
At some point, he switches bands and he dresses like Elvis. I'll provide an image soon of that.
Okay.
Nico Smiley is a professional duelist manager from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, and in the dub, his facial hair needed to be censored.
Why?
Nah, fair.
What the fuck is going on with this third image? That man's head is such a strange shape, and his facial expression.
Well, you see, that's Kyle Jables.
No!
He's a professional duelist from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. He doesn't actually have a name in the original show, and only goes by his duelist title, DD. This title in the dub was translated to The D.
So much better.
Guys, I'm only referring to myself as the D from now on.
The D.
Is it
And I
weird
want
that
to be
he
referred
kind
to
of
as
looks
such.
like Kyle in a way?
A little bit. It does a little bit.
Like very slightly.
I
I
mean,
know what my hairstyle is going to be when I go get my hair cut this week. Could you imagine I walk into the place to get my hair cut, I just slap a picture of Kyle Jables to them, like, make my hair look like this.
Give me the most fucked up bangs of any human being on this goddamn planet.
This needs to be a polygon.
make them look
These
intentionally
fangs.
greasy.
Make it look like I am storing party hats under my hair.
Make it look
Also
like I
worth-
stole the Party City logo and hid it in my hair off the sign. I just jammed it in there. It's just metal beams.
I just have a
sticking up in all the
cornucopia of
directions.
horse shit up under my weave.
Tyler looks like he's half a step away from being a member of Team Skull from Pokemon.
Yeah.
Tyler
this
gets
fix
more
your
like
image?
Tyler gets pussy with that hairdo. Am I right, fellas?
Whoa!
Wow. Especially with that drip right
Especially
there.
with this,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like the golden pompadour.
There is a character named Mitch. He is in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. He does not have a last name because he is a small, sad orphan boy. And this is the only image I have found for him on the internet.
Why is it such a wide image? That's not just him, right?
Stretched out to the wrong aspect ratio makes it way fucking better.
This is how I found it. This is like on the fan wiki.
Oh, I bet. I hope that he is just distorted in the episode too.
God,
I wish the whole thing is in like standard aspect ratio, and then the entire fucking resolution blows out when he comes on screen.
Second he's on frame, we get a
the
Vine
audio
boom.
out.
Yeah, get a
it's just
Vine boom.
It just, the moment he shows up on screen, the aspect ratio gets fucked. It's just the most fried audio, just being like, I want supper!
He does almost get sacrificed to a cult.
Oh, well, he is named Mitch. Of course! Just par for the course, I suppose.
This is the final question, and
Thank
for
God.
once, I've actually made it a proper bonus question because it really doesn't fit with anything else. On the topic of the Shadow Realm, 4Kids Yu-Gi-Oh! Is far from the only fictional world to contain one. Which of the following franchises does not also include the Shadow Realm as a location?
Oh.
Is it Persona, Marvel Comics, Shadow Warrior, or Spyro the Dragon? One of these does not have a Shadow Realm. The other
This
three
is
do.
just, okay, I
I
see.
am familiar with 3 of these 4 franchises, and I have zero confidence in an answer to this.
I am familiar with all 4 to very varying degrees.
Uh-huh.
I would not claim to be an expert on any of the 3 that I'm familiar with, by the way.
I like Marvel, and I had a Spyro toy from some sort of like fast food restaurant when I grew up, so I guess I know what Spyro is.
Shout outs to the real ones that played the original Spyro trilogy on PS1. I only played the 3rd one. So I'm not
a real one.
Yeah, not fully real,
don't
but
get
I'm
shouted
less
out.
fake than people that were like born after me who didn't have a PS1.
I did play it at an Eagles Nest once.
Bitches.
I do have a clarification question.
Yes.
So, is the idea that 3 of these explicitly have something called the Shadow Realm, or is it something similar?
3 of these have a location named the Shadow Realm.
I am going to pick Shadow Warrior because it's the only thing on here that I know literally nothing about. I will be embarrassed and sad when the correct answer is something that I have been introduced to in the past.
What's the score right now? I haven't been keeping
score-
track.
If I've tallied it correctly, the score is Nico 2, Tyler 3, Kyle 2.
Okay. Cool. So I don't want to pick what Tyler picked.
I mean, you
But
could.
I wanted to pick Shadow Warrior
You still can.
because it would be so funny.
I think I'm the only person that knows anything about Shadow Warrior.
Yes.
I think you are.
I love
On
that
the
game.
planet.
I love that game.
I don't know. I feel like I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
No idea what it is.
I love that game.
I'm going to pick Persona.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I don't feel good about anything in this
I'm gonna
quiz.
About Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. I never felt good about Yu-Gi-Oh! But specifically like my answers in this
Yeah,
quiz.
yeah.
I just don't feel good about it.
I'll feel sillier and dumber than Tyler if I claim that Shadow Warrior definitely has a Shadow Realm when I pick Spyro.
Okay.
I don't know where a Shadow Realm in Spyro would be. But again, my only exposure is like the PS1 era, and they went fucking off the rails crazy after Insomniac sold the property. So I have no
Right?
fucking clue.
That's because the plot of Spyro Shadow Legacy for the Nintendo DS revolves around the characters of several major realms being trapped in the Shadow Realm.
Cool.
Spyro has to master martial arts and magic to bring everyone home safely.
Fuck does
Martial
Spyro
arts?
have the appendages available to him to be able to do any form of martial arts?
It's called
image-
Dragon Kata.
That
idiot.
image that image doesn't give me any better
No,
description
it doesn't.
on what Dragon Kata is, Mitch.
If anything, it just looks like he's using his generic ram into shit
Yeah.
move,
Yeah, he's like leaning a little bit.
which is
Do you know how little information there is about Spyro's Shadow Legacy for
as
the
there
Nintendo
probably
DS?
should be.
Everyone get ready for the next stream. It's gonna
No,
Oh, why not?
play a DS game.
Now, most people will know the Shadow Realm in Marvel from Thor: Love and Thunder.
okay.
But as is typical with the MCU, it did exist in the comics long before then, and it was very different. So in Thor, it looked like this nondescript blah location.
Cool.
But in the comics, I cannot explain to you exactly what it is. I believe it's a 2D plane just outside the bounds of reality. But shadows can do this. So
Oh, that's fun. We love that. For some reason, I was thinking the Shadow Realm was where Dormammu was from, but I guess I'm just
That's the dark dimension.
Dark Dimension. That's what it was.
Yeah.
See, I knew that I was gonna fail somehow with something that I knew something about. Oops.
oops.
Well.
And finally, to reveal the correct answer, Shadow Warrior is very simple. The Shadow Realm in Shadow Warrior bears a resemblance to feudal era Japan, and it's just said to be a parallel Earth where the demons live. So the correct answer to this question is Persona.
I was gonna say
Damn, okay.
Different
very upset if I was wrong about Shadow Warrior.
yeah. Persona does contain alternate worlds that have shadows in them, but that's just what the monsters are called. They're basically just demons, and none of them are considered a proper shadow realm necessarily.
Yeah,
They're all either
that's fair.
perversions made to the real world or manifestations of human consciousness.
I only have ever played Persona 5, so I figured there's a chance there's a thing called the Shadow Realm in any of the other iterations of it that I just don't know about. But
I just knew was it I think Persona 3 anime I watched, like I know that it's a different realm, like it's a shadow of reality. I didn't know if they called it anything or not. And Spyro was the only choice I had where I said, I don't think there's anything remotely close to this. I'm really mad at you for this.
so was
Really
this
fucking mad about this.
was this bonus round worth more than 1 point?
No, I didn't decide that beforehand,
Okay,
so I'm
cool.
choosing not to take
Oh,
it
so
that
we're
way.
tied. So
Yeah,
we're just ending with a
unfortunately.
tie.
Yeah, here's what we're gonna do, Kyle. Here's the tiebreaker. You and I are going to go to a pier. We're gonna fucking chain our ankles to military-grade anti-aircraft missile launchers. Every time that we take our turn and eliminate life points off the board, we're gonna have to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh first before we can do this. Every time that
That's
we
the worst
attack each other and
punishment.
knock life points off, the chains are gonna pull us closer and closer to a big ol' heckin' button that is attached to the thing. And then when we get on the thing, it's gonna hit and then it'll launch us into the sky. And we're gonna explode from the anti-aircraft missile launch, and then World War III begins.